Mindfulness Experience. I'm your host Aurora, and I'm very happy to be spending some time with you today. I hope you're doing well. I hope your heart is in a warm place, your mind is free and at peace. And if you feel troubled, if you don't feel very inspired at the moment, then I hope I can bring you some inspiration or motivation into the day. Divorce, bankruptcy, those are very tough situations to be in. And I'm sure if you went through it, you didn't plan on it. Same goes for feeling depressed, fighting depression, or struggling with overweight. You didn't make the conscious decision to become overweight or depressed. What I want to talk about today is that those are 4 very intense situations that we can all find ourselves in at times are not conscious decisions that we make, but it is little unconscious steps that we must have taken in order to find ourselves in those situations. So I want to encourage you today to feel and to be 100% responsible for your situation. And I want to provide you with tools on how you can untangle yourself again. If you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, please do. And also make sure to leave me a review on Apple Podcast. Now, let's look at weight gain. Maybe you were a super sporty person back in the day. Maybe you got injured and then afterwards everything was different. Maybe you never were really sporty, but you never had troubles with your weight. And maybe you've always been a little bit overweight, but not to an unhealthy extent. So where did it all start? Where did you start losing track? Where did your actions started become unconscious? And if you have listened to my podcast in the last couple of months, you know I'm all about making you reflect, making you see things that we might have been running away from in order to feel safe and better. But you're going to hit a wall at some point. It's going to be illness, bankruptcy, depression, divorce, if you keep being unconscious. And this podcast is all about reconnecting with yourself and knowing yourself. And once you do know yourself, you will make better decisions, conscious decisions. So when it comes to weight gain, I've just read that wonderful book, The Compound Effect. I'm going to put it in the show notes. It is very important that you track what you put into your body. So you have a little notebook and you write everything down that you put into your mouth. I met a baker a couple years back and he was struggling with overweight. And he went on a holiday, or we haven't seen each other in 2 months, and then he comes back and looked completely different. What had he done? He had put in a jar every little bite, every little snack, every little thing that he would in the past unconsciously throw into his system. So candy and pretzels and all kinds of snacks at the end of the day were landing in that jar. And at night, when he was done with his job in the bakery, he took that jar back home and continued putting into that jar what he would usually put into his mouth when he got home after a stressful day. And just before bedtime, he was so disgusted. He was so done with unconscious eating that from one day to the other, he was able to change his eating habits. Instead of snacking all day long, he started drinking more, and he also felt more energetic, drinking more water and snacking less. So he started feeling like he wanted to go for a walk or a little jog after work. And he kept those good little habits for a good 2 months, and there was a big change happening, not only on a physical level, but on a mental and emotional level as well. So I think a lot of times we think, oh my God, like it took us so long to get to bankruptcy, to divorce, weight gain. It's going to take just as long to get out of this, and it's going to be so painful. But this is just a belief that you have to get rid of. Those little baby steps that you can take from today on can help you so much to make you feel empowered and good about yourself instantly again. When it comes to money, what decisions do you make when it comes to money? Do you have money aside? Do you have money invested? Do you know how you spend your money on a daily basis? And there again, it's very important to track if you want to change something, because the awareness of how you spend, how you consume, is going to make you change your behavior already. In this little book, The Compound Effect, he talks about how a $4 coffee consumed daily will amount to, I think it was $50,000 over 20 years. And yeah, maybe you can say now, yeah, but it's just 3 coffees a week, and it's not every week. But just think about those little amounts will add up and will result in a huge sum at some point. And is that really how you want to spend your money? Or would you rather take the $50,000 and invest them and let them work to make you money? So it's just like a thought game that I'm doing here with you. You will pick whatever you want to change in your life and track your behavior around it, and you will see results within a couple, maybe even days, but surely, certainly within a couple weeks of consciously making decisions around that habit. So when it comes to money, track everything you spend, on how you spend it, and really think about, is that the expense I want to make? Or, because we all keep saying, oh yeah, I don't have enough money to save, can I start putting aside $5 a week, $10 a week? And that will compound. And one day you'll have $1,000, which then you can invest. So it's just about changing habits in baby steps, and then at the end of the day, seeing big results. I had that wonderful interview with Dr. Kirpal Singh here the other day, and he said it's not about making drastic changes from one day to the other. Just think about sitting in a car behind the steering wheel, and if you only turn that wheel a little bit to the left, then you will go to the left side at some point. It's not about abruptly turning the wheel to the left. That's a dangerous thing to do, and most people faceplant when they change habits too radically. But if you incrementally change your habits for the better, you will see big changes in the future. Same goes with weight loss, and same goes with romantic relationships. I'm sure you didn't want that divorce to happen. I'm sure you didn't want to fight with your spouse. But now you're sitting there and everything went sideways, and divorce is being filed and depression is kicking in. You can make conscious decisions when it comes to your relationships. You can track your thoughts and your intentions you have when you interact with your spouse. Are you approaching an argument with the intention to resolve and afterwards nurture your relationship again? Or is it all about power and being right? Because we all know this is what is destroying relationships on a daily. It is when we cling to our beliefs, our egos, and don't give the other person any room to express themselves or be themselves. And then you can track with your little notepad on what are your thoughts when you look at your spouse, when you think of your spouse. Are you grateful for them? Are you appreciative? And if not, and if you have it all written down as you're not appreciative, you are annoyed, you feel insecure, things are bad, then you can start and make little changes. You can start and focus on what are you grateful for? What is it that made you fall in love with him or her back then? What is it that you know you could be better at, but you just got lazy? What is it that you feel could spark your relationship again? What is it that you want from your partner? And if it is attention, and if it is appreciation, if it is respect, start being that partner. Be the partner you want to have as a partner. Because wanting something from the other is always very, very easy, and to make the other person feel they're not enough, they're not doing enough, they're not invested enough. But if you really listen to yourself and watch yourself, I want you to ask yourself, do you really give 100%? Or did you get lazy over the years? And if you make those little changes, if you start listening more to your partner, if you start being a little more curious about how their day was, on how their friends are doing, on how they are feeling with the current situation, you will see how much a relationship can change within just a couple conversations or within a couple weeks or months. Sometimes we get lazy, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's all about being aware of it and then making little changes again to get to a better place, to be a more in-depth person and to reflect about the things that you have done wrong, maybe. So I hope this little episode helped you to be aware of the things that you can change in the future, to feel better with yourself, to feel more empowered and encouraged. And I'm so curious to know more about your thoughts. So you can always leave me a review on Apple Podcast. You can always shoot me a message on Facebook. And yeah, I'd be delighted to hear your thoughts. Maybe you have questions, and we can discuss further. Thank you so much for listening to the Borealis Experience. Until next time, bye-bye.